Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Manny be investing. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in and the subscribe button, and check out the description for links to the socials. What I want to look at is what's been going on in the market and what kind of triggered a lot of this market movement to the downside. And I just want to play a video here just to show you why you should always do your own research and never rely on someone else's information, including my own, and especially avoid these influencers. They're terrible people. They're terrible people. Let's take a listen.
About to buy $1 million home for half the price. The thing is, you can only do this if you know how to utilize cryptocurrency.
And this guy does not know how to utilize cryptocurrency.
So this is the house that I'm gonna buy, and it costs about 1.4 million. So I'll have to pay around 7 grand a month. But for this entire house, the total that I need to pay is 740K. It's because of crypto. For the down payment, I'll have to pay about 20%, which is 290K. With the remaining 450K, I'm gonna put that into the Anchor protocol. Once I deposit the 450K, it'll yield me 19% per year. That's 88 grand a year. Now divide that by 12 months, and that's gonna make me 7.3K a month. Just enough to cover the monthly cost of this mansion. After it's paid off, I'll have a $1.4 million home, plus be making 7.3K a month doing nothing. If you want to learn more about crypto, check out my bio.
Don't check out this guy's bio. Actually, check out his bio and then block him. All right, so there's so many things wrong with influencers that I'm not even going to get into. But when it comes to cryptocurrency markets, just markets in general, these people do everything for the clout. That's what they get paid to do. The idea that's being sold in this video is a good example for what I preach against, but also the fact that this situation or scenario is even being acted upon by this person is probably not even real. Everything about this industry, and when I say industry, celebrities, influencing, it's all fake. It's all built on fake. Everything that looks good is good. Everything that feels good is good. Fake. I stay away from it. I just tend to lead a better life because I do so. So this person is trying to convince you of a few different things that you can use cryptocurrency, we'll say that in quotes, to make your life better, to become rich, to pay for homes, to buy cars with. That's not necessarily true. It works like anything else. If you currently aren't doing those things, cryptocurrency is not going to magically allow you to do them. That is just a big misleading thing when it comes to that. So he's showing this flashy house inside this trendy bedroom that he's probably renting, or is probably living at home. Honestly, I don't really know this guy. I don't really care. So don't get in the comment section saying, oh, Matt, whatever the hell, he's a blah, blah. I don't care. He's an influencer. He's telling people to do stupid things on the internet for profit. So I don't respect him, and nor do I care. But what we're looking at is the fact that why would anyone that could afford a $300,000 down payment on a house be using that as a down payment instead of using that to buy a freaking house for themselves? $300,000 today isn't going to get you a lot of house, the same house that it would have gotten you 3 years ago. But dang it, it is a good start. So if you have $300,000 liquid in USD or whatever your home currency is, you should not be leveraging it for something that you don't need. You don't need $1 million home. You just don't. If you have a dwelling situation and you come upon that much cash, why would you be buying a house like that? Just buy a house that makes sense, and that will solve a majority of your problems right there. Do things that make sense financially. Be financially or fiscally conservative. Make sense. This whole scenario makes no sense. Why would you do that to yourself? But the thing that he used Luna, and he used UST, which is a stable coin. And he's talking about how he's going to generate with his APY at 20% all this money, and he's going to be able to pay his bills. Well, let's take a look, people. An $18 billion stablecoin is losing its dollar peg with all the magical chaos of algorithmic stables with a dash of Bitcoin systemic risk drama. Here's everything you need to know. The UST DPEG thread. This is May 9th, 2022. Let's read through it and see what insights we can gather in hindsight. UST is a dollar-pegged stablecoin that has depegged twice in the last few days. So we're talking May 7th through May 9th here. USDT, and there's the charts right there. And it's just boom. And if you look at this chart, you may think, hey man, this thing is making a comeback. It's going to go back to $1. And because of that, this here caused a lot of turmoil. And let's look at it today. What did it do? It went down even further. So just because the chart shows you, oh, it's an upward trend, we're coming back, it's not always the case. There's always like a 50% retracement. So look, there's about 50% right there. And it dropped down again, and about 50% in that drop came back. Went down even further, and then there, right here, another retracement. That's how this stuff works. But that stablecoin fell off of a cliff. So that guy that was in that video, if he actually did the things that he said he did, he's in financial ruin right now because he makes bad decisions. He was living in a room. Why does he need to buy a house like that? He doesn't. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't leverage yourself like that. Don't rely on cryptocurrency yields. It just doesn't make any sense. And I know people are doing that because that is the reason why I'm doing this video. Because so many people that I come across live their life that way. And I'm here to tell you to stop doing that. Make investments. Don't gamble. These people are gambling. Sometimes I feel like they're in it for the high of the uncertainty, the fact that they could win big or lose big, this feeling that they get. I feel like a lot of people are here for that reason and not the actual cryptocurrency, not the technology, and not the financial freedom that it could possibly bring you with stable and realistic investment. So just a reminder on how UST works. You can always redeem Luna for UST, dollar for dollar, and vice versa. If Luna is at 50, you can redeem it for 50 USDT. Interesting. Similarly, you can redeem 50 USDT for 1 Luna. And then here, a thread about all the opportunities in the Terra Luna ecosystem. In this thread, I'll focus on our two biggest ecosystems in terms of TVL and DeFi, $16.8 billion of TVL. There are plenty of opportunities in crypto to earn yield. Very true. Let's look at how you can make it with Terra Luna. And this is a thread in itself. Before we deep dive into the strategies, it's important to understand the tokenomics behind Luna. The ecosystem operates with two tokens, UST, which is a stablecoin, and Luna, which is the volatile native asset. USDT is a stablecoin that is one-to-one pegged to USD, used to be, while Luna is a governance token. Okay. The whole ecosystem is built around the stablecoin USDT. Why do I keep saying I keep wanting to say USDT, but it's just UST. UST. That's it. Stable Terra. In order to create more UST, we have to burn Luna, which means the token is deflationary. There goes that buzz term, deflationary. Let's see how well the deflationary aspect of the token saved everybody, right? The UST demand change determines what amount of Luna needs to be burned. Luna burn reduces the supply. Of Luna, supply reduction increases the Luna price. In theory, but we see that didn't work out. Back in early November, there was a huge demand for the stablecoin UST. E.g., over 1 billion due to the launch of DGen Box, great name, UST, MIM on Abracadabra, plus lots of protocols launching after the Columbus 5 upgrade. We saw the market cap increase from 2.5 billion to 10 billion in the span of 2 months. See the screenshot below. In this, if you watch the video on the Paribus blog post, the last one that we did, May 13th, they talk about how this is a very misleading statistic to go by, just TVL. It doesn't really tell the story other than interest. So that's all it tells you. It doesn't tell you that anything's good. It doesn't tell you that anything's secure. It's just giving you an idea of who or what is interested. Is Luna undervalued? I think so, but I'm a big fan of Terra ecosystem, and I'm biased, obviously. If you're interested in reading what could go wrong with Terra, recommend you reading this thread. So he has another thread here. Big door swings. This is January 6th. Big door swings on small hinges. There's 10 billion of hot capital in the Luna Terra ecosystem, but the daily on-chain exit is capped at 100 million. What's the worst that can happen? Let's dig in. So he's talking about that, and we don't want to deviate too far. I feel the author makes a lot of good points, and I agree with most of it, but a lot of the May 2021 crash in the crypto markets, which is missing in the analysis, implementation of the white whale. To protect the peg, ozone protocol, insurance protection, and Orca, in a downtrend market, you can buy other people's liquidated assets from the Anchor protocol. These three protocols help the Terra ecosystem to protect the peg of UST and to prevent a cascade. Well, we know that that didn't work. I could continue to write about the Terra ecosystem, but now that you know more about UST and Luna works, let's look at the DeFi opportunities. Let's start with the simplest one to understand, the Anchor protocol. Anchor Earn is a protocol that lets you stake your UST in return, you get 19.5 APY. Pretty brilliant. Why is it brilliant that you just get a high APY that doesn't even seem realistic? It's just brilliant because it is, right? And it was because of this protocol, I completely stopped investing in the stock market. Think about Anchor as the crypto savings account. Yep. Let's think about it like that. I've covered Anchor protocol in detail here, but the thread above only covers the Anchor Earn functionality. Let's have a look at the function I feel that too many people are sleeping on. Okay, what's that? I deposited $116,000 into the Anchor protocol, and I bet you lost every freaking penny of that. A thread that will give you a deep dive into how a crypto savings account can generate $3,500 in passive income per month at 19.5 APY. Now do you see why when I do demos and you only see like a couple of $100 in my account? That's why, people. This stuff is all risky. You got these guys just gunning all of their life savings into this stuff and then getting wrecked and talking about they're going to kill themselves, yada, 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 feel bad for me. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. Go away. This is irresponsible. Anchor Borrow. Another function is the ability to borrow money by using your assets as collateral. See screenshot below. So there's the basic borrowing and lending platform with all of your assets in one boat. Sounds like a great plan. For now, you can borrow against your ETH and Luna. Of course, you want to wrap your Ethereum up in this garbage. But very soon, Sol and Atom will be implemented too. It's really weird. They always have a legitimate asset and then a bunch of VC tokens. What could go wrong, right? What could go wrong borrowing against Sol? Because, same thing ain't going to happen to them. The assets have to be in a bonded version. So wrapped, locked into contracts so that you can't get them out. In order for you to use this method, how to do it? Connect your Terra wallet to Anchor. If you don't have bonded ETH or bonded Luna, you can buy them on TerraSwap. So take your real assets, swap them for a wrapped version, and trap them on an ecosystem so that you can't sell them if something bad happens. That sounds like a great plan. Make it Luna by going here. I prefer using TerraSwap because most often I get more Luna than what I have in Luna. because that makes sense. Let's trade something 1-to-1, but I end up with more of the wrapped asset than I do of the collateral, because that's not shady at all. If I convert my Luna to Bluna at Terra Swap, I get 0.5 Luna extra sometimes. Sometimes you can get. Yeah, again, why? That doesn't even make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. That should have been a red flag right there. More, and I remember the summer of 2021, the conversion rate was something like 100 to 108. That's a $8. That's 8 for free. 8 free Luna. Because that also makes sense. You trade something and you end up with more for free at the cost of nothing, right? No one's paying for that. They're just making it up. It doesn't sound very deflationary to me. You could also buy Luna ETH with UST. You have Bluna and Bleeth, or it's basically wrapped ETH in your wallet. Provide your assets here. Then click the borrow button and choose how much you want to borrow. You can borrow 50% as a max of your collateral. So 50%. Oh gosh. If you have 100 Luna tokens, they're worth $70 as of this writing. What are they worth today? Yikes. Yep. That's what they're worth today. That was just the beginning of the year. They're worth $70. Today, fraction of a penny. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Then click the borrow button and choose how much. If you have 100, okay, you went through that. Borrow 3,500, which is 50% of your collateral value. If Luna goes to 100, your collateral value is now 100 tokens times $100, which is 10,000. You may now borrow 5,000. As you can see, how much you can borrow is fleeting. Another important point: you will get liquidated if your position hits 60% of your collateral value. I don't think that happened. That's why it can be smart to monitor your LTV ratio. If this is the first time you're going to try this, start by borrowing 10% to understand the mechanism. How about don't do any of this if this is your first time? How about you should not be doing advanced transactions, advanced DeFi if you don't know what you're doing? How about start with $50? This guy's talking about thousands of dollars. Why? Why are you encouraging people to do this? Buy more Bloom. Buy this, buy that, convert to this, swap on this. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. Send to another ecosystem to buy your favorite coins. All of this is just madness. If you want to repay your loan in full or repay some of it, make your position more healthy. Just click on repay. After you have repaid, you can press withdraw to remove your collateral and go to Terra Swap to convert Bluna to Luna UST. Everything written above remains the same for ETH, so just follow the same instructions. However, if you have a native ETH ERC20, you have to convert it to Terra native tokens through Lido, Anchor Lido.fi. But I personally find it much easier to sell my ERC20 to a stable and then bridge it over to the Terra network through the Terra bridge. Oh man, this sounds like you're just sending your tokens to a prison. Anchor Earn gets you 19.5%. They don't tell you where this comes from, where this reward pool is coming from, how it's sustained, how it works. It's just a magical 19.5% that you get for nothing, for just existing. And none of this sounds shady whatsoever. I just don't get it. You can continue this loop 8 to 10 times. You should at least double your initial position. So if you had 100 Luna, now you should have over 200 Luna. PS, very high risk. NFA, DYOR. So there goes the statement that he should have made at the very start. He finally makes it way down here somewhere. And it's just insane to me. It is just crazy. Mirror protocol. It's just this rabbit hole of nonsense. Here's another great example. What if you could 2-3x your DeFi yield on stablecoins without using leverage? Let's say you have 100K. Normally you would get 20 APY, so you get 120K. But why not get 40 and 60 APY? where you get 140K, 160K. Too many people are sleeping on free money because that's how money works. It's free. Let me guide you through it step by step, how you can make this free money. And I've got people that I know that had invested in this. And then there were people that were just buying these tokens and holding them, and they weren't doing any of this, and they still got wrecked too. That's why you don't do this stuff. It's just crazy. Somebody's coming up to you saying that you can 2 and 3x your yield. It's a scam. It is a scam, people. This doesn't even make any sense. How are they paying this much? Where is the money coming from? That should be your first question. And it just keep on going and keep going and talking about all these things that can make you rich. Save thread, unroll. It's just crazy. Just absolutely bonkers. And people are just there loving it. They're loving it. All these people. I mean, if I had the want to do that, you could look at these pages, see if they're even there anymore. Let's just do it. Let's do it with this one. Then I'll go back on this one. Investor in DeFi, investor writer in DeFi and Web3. What happened to USD and Luna? A long thread that looks at what happened in the last 4 days. I think the biggest lesson we can make from the last week is that no coin is too big to fail and to never have your full net worth in one ecosystem. You think? Wow. Let's keep going. It's worth noting you can always redeem 1 UST for $1 worth of Luna, even if UST is worth $1 or less than $1. It's meant to be a stabilizing mechanism. If UST is trading at 99, arbitragers can buy it and redeem it for $1 of Luna. That doesn't sound like a bad idea, right? What can go wrong with that? We all know stablecoins require utility to maintain demand and defend their peg. So where does UST get utility? Simple Anchor protocol. So it's all one basket, one program. That if that program were to fail or something were to go wrong, what would happen to the stable? Well, we already know what would happen. A huge portion of the UST circulating supply is in Anchor right now. It's only 40%, but it's been as high as 70% historically. So why hold UST? Easy. Because they're paying you 20% per year to hold it. Who's paying you, and with what 20%? Do they just have an infinite cash flow to continue paying out 20% to the end of time? Well, we know that wasn't true because it all came tumbling down. 2 obvious questions. If someone is paying you 20% risk-free, I love that word choice. Why not just borrow a ton of money and make it pay you like 100%? That's exactly what Abracadabra Degens did. Our UST strategy, the first application with magic potentialities of Degen Box by Abracadabra Money. Yep, they abracadabraed your money away in the Degen Box, and the rest of the Frog Nation DeFi ecosystem unwound in January, depegging UST and sending Luna to $100 down to 46. Sound kind of familiar? Something history may not repeat itself, but can rhyme. Yeah. How does one give out 20% in free money every year? Well, that's also easy. The LFG Luna Foundation Guard oversees of Terra's multi-billion-dollar ecosystem fund. We'll come back to that. First, we need to figure out what Luna token does. I'm not going to focus on what drives its fundamental value and focus instead on narratives. Every UST in circulation reduces the circulation of Luna. The win scenario is every single Luna on Earth gets burned for UST. Sure. You can see the basic appeal. The more UST, the less Luna. How is it less if it's infinite? Holders should want to diamond hand Luna. Yeah, that worked out. If there's unstoppable demand for UST, there wasn't, and you're the last Luna holder on Earth, you have immense redemption power. You sure didn't. That's right on their site. Oh, it's on a website, so that means it's true. That's kind of why the Luna MCAP and UST MCAP is FUD. It doesn't matter what the total implied value of Luna is. What matters is the marginal value of each Luna that is redeemed for UST, or vice versa, aka Luna's price. So holding it means you were holding nothing. The only time there was value was when one was swapped for the other. Interesting how that works, right? So the people sitting there with diamond hands that held this stuff literally were holding bags of sand, while the people that were trading it, exchanging it for one another, were the ones that were actually getting value. But that's even more important is the directionality and stability of Luna's price. It's a big mother effing problem if the average redemption price of Luna for UST is high relative to Luna's current price. Let me slow that one down. Luna price high, Luna burned, mini UST minted. Luna's price fall, UST redeemed for mini Luna. That is bad, okay? Yeah, it is bad. It's useful to illustrate using extremes. Say the price of Luna is 1 billion. When someone could mint 1 billion, then someone could mint 1 billion UST by burning a single Luna. Then let's say the price of Luna falls to $1 for no good reason. That person could redeem their UST for 1 billion Luna. That's crazy. It's essentially like sitting on a seesaw and then someone drops a vehicle on it and catapults you into the air. That's what their blockchain was based on. So suddenly, again, for no good reason at all, there's a crap ton more Luna in circulation being dumped on the open market. This is, in essence, what's happening today. Because at the base, Luna's blockchain operating model was garbage. It was basically a programmed Ponzi scheme token. And people were buying this because the price went high on CoinGecko and market cap. And a bunch of money was flowing into the blockchain, and people started FOMOing in, saying that this is the future. You know, Cardano's a waste of time because it doesn't move, because all they think about is just the price of a token on a website, because they're gamblers. They don't use the protocol. A majority of the people that got owned in this didn't even use the DeFi features that this token had. And it was a governance token. You were just buying and holding a governance token for no reason because you thought that one day it was going to make you rich. And I have these people to this very day, moment in time, that are in my inbox on various social media platforms that just wholeheartedly believe that this is how this works. You buy a thing and hold it, and eventually you become rich. That is not how this works. It is never going to be how anything works. And if you do believe that this is how this works, you're going to end up like a Luna holder with a bag of dust and sand. That's the only way this will end for you. So let's keep on reading through this garbage. UST, burn for staking. Luna, price goes up. Sell more Luna to fund the protocol reserve. And longer term, USD takes off as a widely used stable before LFG runs out of money. Luna goes to the moon. Everyone happy. Hence this tweet. Don't want to get another DM about the Anchor Protocol yield reserve. What do you want? Show the pool. Garbage. It's all magic. It runs off magic. This was all challenged in January when Degen Box collapsed. That implosion took down a big push for UST to be used in a 10-figure cross-chain ecosystem headed by Danielle Sesta. That's when Jump, 3AC, and others piled into the 1 billion Luna OTC deal to buy Bitcoin. I remember that. And my first thing was, why the hell is a blockchain that claims to be better than everybody buying the assets of blockchains that they say that they're better than? That doesn't make any sense. And that was the red flag, the serious red flag slammed into the dirt that I needed to just steer clear of that protocol and all of its assets indefinitely. The story there. Get the Bitcoin gang on board. Every cycle needs one crazy billionaire to go hard for the king. Give redemptions a UST UST BTC off ramp in addition to existing UST Luna one. So it was a scam. It was a scam to get liquidity from Bitcoin people because Bitcoin is actually a valuable digital asset and Luna is worth a bag of sand. Today, LFG announced they have raised $1 billion to form a BTC reserve for Terra's UST. When I saw that, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? Why would they need Bitcoin to hold as a reserve for their blockchain that they're saying is better than Bitcoin? Led to a jump crypto and 3 Arrow Capital. Here, I explain why the deal is extremely important for Terra stability. This right here should have told you everything you needed to know. That right there is crazy. Now there's been a full weekend of gigantic 9-figure moves, market selling, UST pressuring the peg. And pressuring the peg. Today's attack on Terra Luna UST was deliberate and coordinated. Massive 285 million UST dump on Curve and Binance by a single player, followed by massive shorts on Luna and hundreds of Twitter posts. Pure staging. No, it's not staging. It's just a market reacting to reality. If you have something that you can see is going to be worth nothing in the future, you get rid of said thing. That's what happened. That's why it did that. Regardless if it was one person or 285 million people dumping one UST, that's what's going to happen. If people get the heads up and know that what they're holding is worthless, they will try to get rid of it. That's what everybody on the freaking planet was doing. That is why the price kept dumping, because everyone was trying to sell it, get something for it, because they know it was headed to zero. As with all algo stables, the downside, and that's not true, the downside cycle is the opposite of the upside. UST unstaked and dumped. UST depegs due to downward pressure. That's not supposed to happen if it's pegged. UST holders redeem for $1 of Luna. Dump Luna. What complicates things is all the Bitcoin in the treasury, and they were lucky that they got that. Recall when the LFG was buying Bitcoin? I do. Remember the 1 billion OTC news? That triggered a massive run-up in Luna, which allowed for tons of high basis UST minting, because there was, at the core, issues in the logic of how your blockchain operated. Simultaneously, the LFG DCA'd into Bitcoin at an average price north of 40K. Yep, because when you do stuff like that, oh my gosh, just stupid. Just stupid. Now Bitcoin is being driven lower due to the macro, and ironically, expectations of the LFG will be forced Bitcoin sellers due to UST peg pressure. Any redemption of UST, BTC now will essentially be booked. Losses for LFG when they could have just sat on stables instead. So they bought a bunch of Bitcoin and then had to dump that Bitcoin, which then caused a major overall crypto market move. So yes, this big giant Ponzi scam amassed a ton of value, TVL, and then was, in my opinion, always worthless. And then people started to, or not people, but markets started to realize, hey, this is all worthless. And then people got scared and started dumping. And that dumping caused a chain reaction across the greater market. And this is why we are here right now, today, because of this foolishness. So that's when people were like, oh, the failure of Luna is the failure of everyone. Not because Luna is this great product in that it's going to leave a black eye on the entire crypto space. No, it's literally because they caused a chain reaction connected to Bitcoin with their Ponzi scheme. The deeper the liquidity, the harder it is for any one actor to dig out and move the price even further away from $1. Liquidity, peg defense, market making. That's why Jump Capital and 3AC are involved. They were part of these are VCs. They were part of the consortium that bought 1 billion of Luna OTC in February. They're deep-pocketed, sophisticated traders willing to do whatever it takes to prevent UST death spiral. Clearly that wasn't true. So what's next? Friendly market makers go to work on deploying a piece of the BTC treasury to market buy UST and keep the peg up. So in order to put out the fire, you have to dump more gasoline on said fire. That's how it works, right? Hope is there's more falling knife BTC collateral in LFG than there is bank run pressure from people fudding UST. UST fudded itself. Possible outcomes. The treasury gets drained, but UST stabilizes. That didn't happen. For now, BTC seems to have stopped dumping on liquidations and liquidation fears. And that was around the 30s, and that wasn't true because it dipped down to 25. LFG also seems aware and intent on buying BTC back at lower basis. I hope they bought it at 25. There's a win there. BTC gets pressure to 30K. UST peg restores. That didn't happen. LFG buys back into BTC at lower basis. Sure, bud. Sell BTC, restore peg, buy BTC, profit. Sounds like magic. Better yet, BTC somehow moons when we get a situation, fiat protocol situation, where despite a difficult situation, underlying collateral goes up in value and the protocol ends up fully collateralized. Yeah, okay, sure, that's going to happen. And for completeness, since it would have never happened, Do Kwon and LFG cease their UST defense, annihilating Luna holders and allowing the UST to just settle at collateral level. USDC is 100 magic dollars backed by 20 bitcoins and 80 magic beans, but some people don't think it's worth 100 real dollars. So LFG is selling bitcoins to buy more magic dollars to convince people they're worth 100 real dollars. Also, the magic bean holders don't get sad. Nah, that sounds like a really good example of how it works. Oh, and follow me if you want to learn more about DeFi scaling, crypto privacy. Appreciate y'all. So basically, you are telling us that Luna effed the whole crypto market. I think it's time for people to go all in on ADA and decouple it 100% from this mess. Isn't ADA down from $3 to around 50? Yeah. ADA seems garbage compared to other alts. This is all based on price action. Remember, people, price action. That's all these people care about. This is why they're in this post. This is why they have Luna. This is why they lost all their money. Make up your mind. Don't rely on hearsay. ADA whale doing his thing. Thank you for confirming how useless these algorithm stables are. It takes a lot of intervention and manipulation to keep the ship sailing smoothly. Saved thread. See if we get any more good information on this thread. Brilliant thread dissecting what happened here. Experiencing a new kind of FOMO. Fear of more oversight. Best thread in UST drama I've read so far. This is a great thread. I really give it to him for putting this together. That's why I saved it. I knew I wanted to do a video on this. Absolutely terrifying. I was so terrified. Now 90% in USD, waiting for the peg to fix itself eventually. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Why would anyone sell their UST at 85%? I hope they did, because it's 14 cents today. And this is why you don't listen to people on Twitter, people. Better 85 than 0. Exactly. What's happening to Luna right now is disastrous. In theory, it should regain the peg. No, it shouldn't. But there's been a ton of liquidity siphoned out from Luna UST. Price deviation by arbitrage players. Yeah, that's why they're there, to make money. That's why you don't invest in VC tokens. You don't invest in VC chains. Because when it fails, the VCs are going to do their thing, drain liquidity, and you're stuck with a bag of sand. Just read all of that and have a much clearer understanding on what the market's doing, what it's doing. What the hell? My question is, what happens when Bitcoin falls so much that it wipes out more than just Luna? We could be looking at a massive reset that would kill 90% of the market cap. Very true. Yes, that's why you don't allow projects that are clearly Ponzi schemes to live amongst the good projects. The good projects need to destroy the bad ones. Not gonna lie, for the ETH maxis, this explanation is really good. You or me, bro. Oh man. let's see. The system is uncollateralized. Of course, someone would try to break it. People warned for months on end that this would happen. Only the strongest protocols survive its evolution. And only if you do your own research and are able to understand it, you will not lose money. Yeah, I like that. I like that one. Men. I mean, I'm sure there's women in there too. You should read something about JED, Cody's real algorithmic stablecoin. Take some time, but it's a real stable. Not a pretend to be stable like Luna's Terra. Luna's Terra is a governance token. It's not stable. Thanks for the insight. A fundamental flaw of all stables is that they offer the service of price stability for free. A hedge contract is never free. That's what the VCs are for. The VCs are the hedge. Trading risk for stability comes with cost. Yeah, especially if it's at somebody else's dime, like a giant hedge fund who only cares about making money. So if there's any dippage, like what happened here, they're going to pull the rug. They're going to pull their liquidity and things are going to get really bad. It's not a peg to the dollar. It's just imagined. UST isn't and never was a stable coin. The higher the market cap, the worse it will nuke. Guess what Elizabeth Warren's going to request on national TV tomorrow? Oh, man. Here we go with that nonsense. Oh, how do you turn a million into in 7 days? One of the biggest collapses in crypto history occurred this week. Who's up for a story? And this guy, of course, is on here talking about he's got a story too in a thread. Everybody's got a thread. Wake up, Anons, and ask yourself if known these concerns about Luna and USDT, tell me why everyone is dumping the depegged USD, but its circulating supply maintains 18 billion today. Because Terra only allows 100 million per day for burning UST to mint Luna. Yeah, so they control everything. So all you guys did was trade one Federal Reserve system for another worse Federal Reserve system. Sounds about right. An 18 billion stablecoin is losing its dollar peg with all the magical chaos of algorithmic stables with the dash of Bitcoin system. Oh, okay, that's the topic. So there's just people in here talking about. So pretty crazy, pretty dang crazy. Luna. Let's look at the year. Look at that. And below a freaking dollar, below a penny. It was started at 15 and the lows was like $4 and now it's below a penny. And all you got to do is come here, look at max supply and see the infinity symbol there to understand it's a big bag of no for me. Even when, what was that guy? Sheldon? I forgot what his name is. He's like a guy who made a lot in the last like big bull market and it's like a millionaire, has all this stuff. I forgot what his name is. Sheldon Evans. When he was talking about putting, because of Luna's sentiment, it was going to be the next thing in the bubble. And it was. He was right in the micro. In the macro, he was completely wrong. Hope that guy didn't lose his butt on this, but he was talking about storing a lot of his net worth in it. And I was just like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Not going to touch it. I don't like the way it works. I go on research. I go on monetary policy, and I don't want an infinite monetary policy. If I wanted an infinite monetary policy, I would just stay with the United States dollar because things work so great there. Why would I want a cryptocurrency or a blockchain that has a model worse than the model that we already have? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, because you want your bags to go moon. That's all you care about. You're so blinded with that single scenario that you're risking everything every day to achieve it. Make sure you hit the like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.